Welcome one and all for the final qualifying session of the Sunday League virtual season. We're here in Kyalami, South Africa, and we're set to have a very good showdown finale to the season. We've got 8 title contenders and we'll be following them all closely this race. But first, the teams. Got some upgrades, more successful than failed. SFR fail an acceleration upgrade, PMP fail a speed upgrade, COR succeed a grip upgrade, and SPM succeed a turbo upgrade. FVR fail a grip upgrade, that's their 4th failed in a row. Meanwhile, BAR succeed on a turbo upgrade, while VLO succeed in acceleration. THX fail a turbo upgrade, KRT succeed in speed, and WTech break all probabilities with under a percentage chance of doing so, getting 8 out of 8 upgrades in every single race this season. Unbelievable for the Russian-based team. They've got a phenomenal car. We'll have to see how they put it to use. Our 8 championship contenders: Rito, out in the championship lead, a strong favourite with a lead of 11 points over Goose, who's in second. We've got Julian behind, just 1 point back from Goose. Eurus 1 point back from him. Grandy 1 point back from him. Then a few points back, we've got Yoshi and X6 tied on points, and Spuda behind them. Right at the end of this qualifying session here, we'll have to see how it shakes up for the drivers. Jake Brad takes pole position by over 2/10 of a second, Bluebell Boy on the front row. Eurus is taking 3rd place. Julian 5545 in 4th. That was a mouthful. As he looks to wrap up the Constructors' Championship for COR. It's a double VLO top 5. Yoshi Josh also puts his car in there, but will be happy. Anti in 6th place for SFR. Hetmenica in 7th, and Andy in 8th are podium sitters. Last time out, the THXs look out the 5th row, both qualifying in the top 10. Grandy ahead of X6 then. 11th place we have Sobel for Phoenix Motorsports, somehow made it in 12th. Trixie in 13th, his teammate Spooner in 15th, with Rito splitting them. 14th on the grid, he's looking to wrap up a championship today. Can he do so? It's a tough ask, he'll need things to go his way around him. Vlado 204 in 16th, Golden Phoenix in 17th, Andres down in 18th, our race winner last time out, Game On Goose in 19th, Levioso by half a second last on the grid. Right, we'll have a look at our championship contenders. Rito starting 14th, Game On Goose starting 19th, Julian starting in 4th. Very interesting, he's got a gap of just 12 points to his teammate, who's the current championship leader. As it stands, I believe a 4th place plus fastest lap take him above his teammate. Eurus starting 3rd, also in championship contention. He's 13 points off the leader. Grandy in contention, as is his teammate X6. They are 14 points off and 19 points off respectively, starting 9th and 10th. Yoshi starting 5th, also still in contention for the title, and Spooner only matching 15th to qualify despite using 2 tokens today. He's also still mathematically able to win, but he will need a race win in order to do so, and hope other results go his way as well. Right, we'll have a look at the general token rundown in 1 second. We have SFR cars of Anti and somehow made it using 2 tokens and 0 tokens respectively, starting 6th and 12th. We have PMP, the neon green car. They're using 2 tokens each, starting 11th and starting 17th. That shows you that tokens, if you don't develop right, won't necessarily help your cause, unfortunately for them. The Constructors' Championship leaders, Comedy Racing. Julian 5545, he starts in 4th place. He is using 1 token today, so is Rito, his teammate, starting 10 places behind him. Next up, the SPM cars. They're using 1 token each. Hetmanek starting in 7th, and Levioso starting in 23. Shows maybe it's a confidence thing from last race. Hemenek's great result compared to Levioso's terrible one. FBR is an interesting one. Second highest token spender on the grid is Bluebell Boy. He starts on the front row as a result. Game on Goose using none, starting on the back row. Next down, VAR. Jake Brad yet to score a point all season, taking pole position here. He's a strong favourite for the race win. Andres not using any tokens whatsoever. They're last in the constructors today. A win could take them up a good few positions with just 17 points in between 6th and 10th in the team standings. Next down the list, VLO. They are starting both from top 5 as aforementioned. Eurist using no tokens. Yoshi using no tokens. Eurist using one. It's a very limited token spend, so it must be the car that really switched on for them during that qualifying lap. Couple more teams to go. Grandy and X610 neither using any tokens. KRT, Vlad 0204 using one token. He's starting down in 16th. His teammate using none, up in 8th. Very interesting there. And the final team, WTech, Trixie using one token. He's starting in 13th. Spoody using 2, starting in 15th. Very puzzling for a team with such a good car to be starting so low despite token usage, but you'd argue it's probably the lack of straight line speed around what is a power track. Right, enough dawdling. Let's get on to the final race before the break. Have all the cars lined up on the grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights ahead of them. For the final time, we're underway here. Jake Brad starting on the hards, leads them away from pole position. Eurus getting a little bit shaky to turn 1, looking to make a move up. Julian runs onto the gravel there. Yoshi able to get past him, as does Hetmanek. Anti and Grandy going 3 wide, nearly 4 wide as X6 tries to pry through. Eurus looking to nick the lead off Bluebell. He does. Jake Brad falling back to 3rd. That's now 2nd as he gets the move back past him now. Jake looking for a move on Eurus for the lead of the race, but they'll all be coming into the pit lane. Rain is on its way and they all file in one by one, smacking against that wall somewhat. We're going to get a lot of double stacking, so we'll have to see how people like Grandy, people like Yoshi get badly affected. Yoshi massively held up in the pit stop. Oh, it's chaos in the background. I think the KRT's massively screwed over with one of the final pit boxes there, and they've lost a ton of time, which gives Eurist, one of our championship contenders, the lead of the race. Bluebell in 2nd and Jake in 3rd, still the front row starters. Hemenek, meanwhile, up into 4th place. Brilliant for him. I don't know how he's done it. He's just using one token, but he is in 4th, up from 7th on the grid, I believe. Julian in 5th. He's also looking for a strong finish to the season. Anti using a fair amount of tokens today, I believe. Still using 2, which is one of our high spenders. We're running through the high spenders now. Actually in 1 second as Bluebell makes the move for the lead of the race, takes it away from Eurus for the whole grid on the extreme wet weather tyres. Hetmanek looking to push his luck, can he? All the way around the outside, gets better traction than Jake Brad, moves ahead of him into this kink right and left-hander, and into the sharp right, really solidifies that position. He's up into 3rd place. Remarkable. He's really trying to carry that form in from last race. A brilliant P2 finish, so unlucky not to win. I think he must have a personal vendetta against the back of that BAR car. Jake Brad makes a little mistake on the apex there, just gets squirrely, runs into the runoff, but Hemenek not with a good run through that sector either. Julian looking to pick up scraps in the background. Jake looking to do the same thing. Het did go all the way around the outside. Can Julian follow him through as well? He does, and Het loses 2 positions in 1 corner. Can Julian shape up a move on Jake? Nobody falls vulnerable to Het in the background. A brilliant scrap. Side by side they go over the line. Who gets the better pull? It is Het, and he uses a little bit of boost right as they cross the line to just solidify that, move himself back up into 4th place. Scooter in 6th, using 2 tokens a day, the most out of any driver who is still in mathematical contention for the championship. Anti in 7th and Yoshi in 8th, Grandy in 9th and Sobel in 10th are your current point runners. Right up at the front, Eurus versus Bluebell getting heated again. They go side by side through here. Bluebell should have the advantage, but Eurus able to just come back at him through the final corner. Who gets the better traction? Bluebell activates that boost a little bit earlier, and Eurus just gets a bit of understeer through that corner. You can see the gap that's opened up now. Bluebell definitely a favourite to win. We've got a few drivers into the pit lane. Looks like Grandi, Phoenix, Rito, Hnandi. Yeah, a lot of these drivers all down in the final 6, I think, all in to the pits. Grandi, actually quite a curious case because he's still quite high up in the field, so maybe just getting through on all these drivers with the early stop, and all the front runners come to the pit lane now relatively well timed. It looks like they're all going to get nice clean pit stops. Well, Spuda a little bit blocked off, as is Yoshi there. Yoshi starting higher, I believe it was 5th place for him. He's now down in 8th. Spuda starting very low down, he's now up in 7th. So very interesting there. Het battling a BAR once again. Oh, a lot of space out on the outside there. It goes all the way around. I love the grip these drivers can find, taking that long path around the corner, and he does get the move back done. Uris trailing Bluebell Boy. Right, our high spenders for this race, Jake Brad clearing away, looking to finally make that point and take some bloody points. He's not scored a single one in the first 7 races. He's using 4 today in an effort to not only get some points but win the whole race. Bluebell out in front, using 3 tokens, his final 3 tokens. He's waited until the last 3 races to properly start spending his tokens. I think he had 8 to spend with 3 races to go. Anti using 2, he's not too far behind Jake and Het. As I say, that really closes up to them, looks to get better initial run out of the corner, but Het pulls away on the straight a little bit. Anti though, through the next corner, and he does slightly just get edged off by Het there. Phoenix also using 2 tokens, not much available for him at the moment. He's down in 14th place, nowhere near the point scoring positions at the moment. It's a good few seconds off them. Still Anti looking to make a move on Het as I say that, and he does get back through, but a valiant effort from Het early on to try and fight up in the high point scoring positions of this race. Jake looking to close in on Urist if he can. He's quite a long way off. We've got this little train of cars behind him fighting for what is currently the final podium position, but it's early doors still. Sobel, Phoenix's teammate, also using 2 tokens. He's had a bit more luck with that. He's in 8th place, just taking that position off Spuda. He's in a good battle with him at the moment. Spuda also using 2 tokens, our only other man doing so. Everyone else using 1 or none. Right, Eurus closing in on Bluebell a bit. That is surprising, considering Eurus is using just the 1 token today. But it's a very good car that Velo managed to secure themselves. You really need straight line speed through here. I mean, it's a huge thing if you look at all these flat out straights. Acceleration can do you well in some corners, that tight final corner, that tight first corner, good examples. Overall, I'd say it's one of the less important stats here. Grip, I mean, it only really stops you from sliding off into those big old sand traps on the side of the course, and turbo will really help you when you're just blasting flat through this area. You can see Bluebell using a little bit now, a little bit more then. Got some rain on the way as we have this fight for the lead. Interesting thing, I'll run you through the turbo stats of the cars. SFR have 5 turbo, PMP with 6, COR with 6, SPM with 6, and FVR with 5. We've got BAR have 8, so watch out for their drivers using turbo, because it will deplete rather slowly. That's what the upgrade grants you there. Jake Brad want to look out for with that. Can he make some overtakes with it? Maybe we'll have to wait and see. VLO with 5, THX with 7, pretty high as well, KRT with 6, and WTEC with 7. The clouds coming back immediately. Will some drivers just not pit from this? I mean, surely they will. Yeah, Grandi and all these guys. Why would you go in for the wets though? Because it's light rain and it's going immediately. This could really play into the hands of Het and Rito. They're the 2 drivers out on the inters, but Het is still a long way off those wet runners. We've got side by side for the lead. Bluebell pulls back into the lead of the race after that scrap with Eurus on the previous 2 laps, the in lap and the out lap. It's probably right to not stay out on the dry compound tyres. The water has hit the track substantially here, but not to an intense degree, really. Only to a degree where they'll probably be coming in at the end of this lap. So Inter's definitely the right call. Het managing to close that gap to Jake Brad by 2 seconds here. It's now just down to 2.3, 2.1 as I say that. Vlado 2, our first driver into the lane. Urist in behind Bluebell, your current front 2. Bluebell gets a little bit stuck behind his teammate Goose. Double stack there for FVR on different laps, with Goose being in last and his teammate being in first. We've seen the reverse of that in Baku, with Bluebell finishing last and Goose finishing first, just about keeping ahead of Julian 5545, who's decided many race winners so far this season, whether he's been involved in the fight for the lead or not. He's currently running in 6th place. Rito on the inters, I think he stayed out that extra lap, did he? He did. He's now into the pit lane. He's going to lose a good few positions with a crowd of cars coming over. He's down into last place, battling Andres for that race winner last time out. Bluebell looking to get through on his teammate as Eurus really closes up, makes a little mistake through there, runs wide, but he'll get back ahead here. Can he pry a gap open coming down to this long sweeper? Can Bluebell defend the inside? He does. Eurus can't make that sweeping move around the outside like we've already seen a couple times this race in the opening laps, but he is still sticking close behind. A very valiant effort, really a testament to the car those at Fiello have built. Yoshi Josh also in 7th place. It seems to really suit this circuit, so full credits to them. Anti up in 2nd place now. He's had a great run through there. He's the only driver in that front 3 of Bluebell, Eurus and himself using the softs, so it's a good thing he's managed to just pull his way through there. Eurus losing immeasurable amounts of time behind his back markers, who are all just able to out-drag him. That could be a really interesting strategy thing that we see as Anti makes the move for the lead of the race, and he gets it done by the time they leave the apex. A brilliant move for him. And Anti, using just 2 tokens today, could be on for a race win. He tipped himself to potentially be on for a podium today, maybe finish top 9 in the driver's standings, top half, a very solid result for the first season. A win would do him a whole world of good, but Eurus really getting stuck back there. I think it's definitely the hard compound tyre, the straight line deficit you get with those tyres, because they are much slower in a straight line. I mean, even the mediums, you can see Anti pulling away on his softs. That's the definite strategy, so watch out for those on the softs there. Going to be looking to make some moves. That could just be it, just getting you stuck behind these cars who are a lap down, going slowly through the corners, but then annoyingly quickly on the straights. We'll run through the championship contenders. Rito down in 18th place. He looked to have a good start, but then stayed out too long on his intermediates in such a tight packed field. That can be a crucial mistake. Battling him is 16th place, Game On Goose, who's 2nd in the championship standings. We've got Julian 5545, who's our highest actual runner. Julian, I'll need to actually double check here, because he does look on for a good finish. So I'll have a quick look at the tie break for the standings, because I can see that coming in to be very, very important. Right, Julian has not won a race. Rito has. Rito's 2 second places. Julian does not. If Julian can't beat him on a tiebreak, even if he wins, Rito will still win on a number of second places. So Julian needs to beat him outright in points, which he can do. 4th place in fastest lap, 3rd place and higher. Very interesting indeed. He is currently about 3 seconds, 4 seconds off Jake Brad, who is occupying that crucial 4th place spot. It would be heartbreaking for Rito to have his championship stolen away from him by his own teammate, no less. But the man who's decided, as I said earlier, many fights for the win in the championship may just get his own here. Remember, he was half a second away from beating Goose to the win in Baku. Had that been the case, he would go on 7 extra points, would be just 5 points behind the championship leader, and will be ahead of Goose. Obviously 7 points less for Goose, 7 points more for Julian, and would be able to win the title with a 7th place or higher, which he is currently occupying. He is in 4th, battling Het for that position, but he does need the fastest lap of the race as well to win the championship. So he's our highest challenger for that title. Rito looks to be fully out of that equation. We've got a battle for P2 here. It's Anti closing in on Eurus. He stopped pretty recently. Eurus still out on his old hards. Anti looking much better than him with that 2 token usage. He's having a very strong race despite not a lot of tokens used, and we don't have a lot of high tokens used today. I mean, if you look at it, only 6 drivers using more than 1 token. is pretty impressive. We've had some races, last race particularly, 3 drivers using 5 tokens, and they, pardon me, the rest of the top 5 I think all using 3 tokens as well, so just crazy numbers there, and much lower comparatively for him. That's what Sunday Virtual is all about. It's picking and choosing where you can get the most efficiency for your token, the most bang for your buck, so to speak. Bluebell into the pits. He's going to be pretty much like a pit stop behind Anti by the time he emerges, but remember, Anti has those pretty rubbered in mediums already. He does also lose the position to Eurus, who's shortly coming in pretty soon. Those hards only got a lap or 2 left in them. Het still in 4th place. Good for him. He's using 1 token today. That would be amazing to finish there, but remember the drivers behind, like Jake, who's pitted for new hards, Yoshi, who's pitted for new hards, but he's a substantial way back, so you know, you'd be interested to see if Het pitting now and lose positions, where he loses positions to. We can actually get a demonstration of that as Julian comes in behind him too, so brilliant time for me to say this. They do lose position to Jake. Julian definitely do. Julian will emerge from the pit lane, not a million miles ahead of Yoshi, but he is on the soft, so he's just looking to extend that gap. Yoshi running a quiet race at the moment, on course to pick up 6 points, which will take him to 54 at the end of the season, and that could potentially secure a top 5 in the Drivers' Championship. A long way in the race still. Eurus finally into the pit lane. How many positions will he lose? It's going to be nip and tuck with Jake on the exit, or just gets out ahead by about a second, I believe that was, and Jake being held up by Vlado too on the exit there as well. Will he continue to hold on? He's going to move out of the way. I think he does move out of the way eventually, but not before Eurus can stretch that gap to over a second and a half. Bluebell's still in second, and he's still out in the lead of the race, looking comfortable. I mean, it would be incredible to see a driver win a race not using the most amount of tokens, not even being on pole, because our pole says today was Jake, and it would be super unlucky for him to not be able to win today. A similar situation to, if you can cast your mind, 2 months back to that first race in Buenos Aires, it didn't look like Grandy was actually going to take that win until right at the climax of that race, the final stint where he really pulls that gap. But seeing somebody like Anti win with 2 tokens compared to Bluebell with 3, Jake with 4, I mean, it would be amazing. But that turbo upgrade should really be helping Jake out. We'll see how slowly it depletes on a car like his. It's a pretty good rate. See if we can close the gap up a little bit here. Then we'll hop to some more on-track battles, because I know that's what people like to see. We'll get a little one outside the points, actually, if we can. Vlado too, fighting Mr. Phoenix. He's got the lapping car of Het between them. Both outside the points. Phoenix using 2 tokens. I think he used 2 tokens last race to no avail as well. So it just shows kind of the pure shitbox, really, pardon my language, of that PMP car. The fact that it's just not capable of pulling itself into the points past people running 1 or 0 tokens. Bluebell looking to close that gap finally. Anti on now significantly more worn mediums. That's the thing he's had going against him, and Bluebell's really been able to close the gap over this last stint, hopefully take his first race win of the season, the second for FVR. I'll remind you of our race winners. Grandy has 2 wins, Rito 1, Goose 1, Eurus 1, Yoshi 1, and Andres 1 as well. Andres 1-1 last time out. 13 laps to go, and he pits for softs. Is that the right call? Is it 13? Tricky. I'd reckon he'll pit on lap 37, 38 and go in for one final, or definitely lap 37 going for one final stop onto the softs. Eurus coming out here, just not coming out, Eurus coming through, and out is the lapped car of Grandy. That took me a while to say, apologies for that. Bluebell here on his old mediums, Eurus on slightly fresher softs. The fact that the soft deck is obviously substantially faster than the medium deck shows you that he did pit for these quite a few laps later after extending that hard stint as much as he could, and he does go for a new set now. Could this be an undercut on Bluebell? We'll have to have a look at that actually. It's a very viable option. Bluebell probably might not get in this lap, could get in next lap. It is hard to predict the strategy that the AI run with sometimes. It's very interesting to think about. So I'll have to have a look at this for the genuine actual lead of the race. If this is a one-lap undercut for Eurus, he manages to pull himself through. I mean, who knows what he can do. He's got some clean air ahead of him now. But Anti, remember, still in second place in that fight for the lead. Bluebell is going to stay out another lap on his last lap over to flick 2. Jake Brad using 4 tokens. I just don't think that car, I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Inherently, there's nothing that should really be raising any eyebrows. It's got 6 upgrades on it. I mean, 3 of which are turbo, 1 of which is speed. What is wrong with it? It's incredibly difficult to tell. Why is it not getting the results that it should be? I mean, okay, I say that. Andre's winning the race last time, but still, you know, obviously having to use all 5 of his remaining tokens to do so is pretty intensive stuff. Right, we'll do another little flick check on our championship contenders. Remember, Eurus now up in second place. Could potentially win the championship with this because he's only 13 points off the championship lead. Second place would grant him 18, and Rito not in the points. He just needs to finish, let me do a bit of maths here, third or higher. Third or higher will get him the championship, and I believe that 4th plus fastest lap will tie him, in which case, and work out the tie break 1 second, Rito would also get the tie break. No, he wouldn't. Yes, he would. Crikey, maths is hard. Right, Eurus needs to finish on the podium to be our Sunday League Virtual Season 1 World Champion. Remember, he DNF'd in Brest, his season looking poor for him at that point, but now he's just 1 second off Anti, his old friend, his old rival, on track in many competitions, who shall not be named here. And he's looking to just hunt him down now. Right, Julian in 3rd place. I cannot count him out of the fight either. He's 1 point ahead of Eurus in the standings. So, it's a direct fight here. They both need to finish. Remember, Julian, we worked out, needs to finish 3rd. Needs to finish 4th place with the fastest lap or on the podium. And Eurus can't finish 4th place with the fastest lap. He needs to finish on the podium. So if both finish on the podium, it will be a straight fight between the two of them to see who is our champion. Incredibly interesting here. We've got Anti now really struggling on his tyres. He needs to come in, pit this lap, take on some softs to the end. It's going to be interesting to see what the other drivers around him do. Yeah, Eurus comes in, Anti comes in, so that's a direct fight between them at the end. Oh, I think they're just in time to get the wets on. If that announcement came a second or so later, that could have been the championship tumbling down the drain for Eurus. But he does get into the pit lane in time. Look at those drivers like Goose out on their hards. God, no chance for them. The whole front 6 is in now. Hetmanek in 6th place. Currently looking to pick up 8 points. Yoshi and those behind him are final drivers into pit, and they're going to be well distanced from that front pack. You can see there 12.6 seconds to the drivers ahead. We've got Grandy still running in the top 10. We've got a fight for 4th place. Julian, remember, needs that 4th place and fastest lap, and he can't quite manage it at the moment. Loses that position to Jake Brown, which will make it impossible for him. We'll do a quick flick through to see who currently has the fastest lap. So Eurus is faster than Anti's. I believe Eurus might have it, honestly. Is that right? It is. Eurus currently, as it stands, has the fastest lap, and we're going to finish under wet conditions. We're not going to see a faster lap than that, but Eurus isn't just content with fastest lap. He wants to win this championship by winning the race. Can he do so? This would take him, remember, up to 79 points, which would secure him the first ever Sunday League Virtual Drivers' Championship. Jake Brad dumping tokens into this race, looking for a win. It's not going to get him that, but it does look like it will get him his first points and his first podium of the season. Bluebell, who's doing so well earlier on, dropped back to 4th place. He looked in contention for that win, but the strategies lined up perfectly for Eurus and Anti. Anti takes it back. Despite Eurus' championship win on the cards, it would be the most incredible story to see Anti win the race with just 2 tokens spent. We're here for a grandstand finish in Sunday League Virtual, and I really hope you're enjoying it. Currently, as it stands, Eurus is coming home to take the title. He needs to stay in those podium positions. That's all he needs. And he's 6 seconds ahead of the chasing pack of Jake Brad and Bluebell Boy. He needs a real pit stop mess up here, but there's only a lap and a half to go in this race. Anti has the advantage here on track. It's been a wonderful season of Sunday League Virtual, and it's going to come all the way down to the wire. Remember, Julian 5545, he's currently in 5th place. Those 10 points would take him up to just 2 points behind his teammate, the championship leader, but not enough to win the entire thing. Jake closing that gap, Eurus dropping back. It's real nervous time, but it is the final lap. We'll have to see how this all shakes up come the end. Jake in 3rd, Bluebell in 4th. Is Jake safe for his first points, his first podium of the season? Has that potential win gone slipping out of Bluebell's hands? It looks so, but all credit has to fall on these front 2. The Anti-Amazing, who had a tough start to the season with just 2 tokens, wins the race, but Eurus coming home in 2nd place, wins the Sunday League Virtual World Championship. He's managed it, he's done it, and he's taken the points required. He's won the World Championship. Unbelievable job from Eurus and those at Team Velocity secure this for them. We'll have to see how it shakes up in the teams. It's been too exciting for me to measure that, but let's see the official results screen. Anti wins the South African Grand Prix, the final race of Sunday League Virtual Season 1. Eurus in 2nd place wins the World Drivers' Championship. Jake Brad comes home in 3rd place, back-to-back podiums for BAR. Bluebell Boy just off it, he's in 4th place. Julian 5545, hoping those points are enough to secure the team's championship for Comedy Racing. He's in 5th place. Hetmanek in 6th for SPM. In fact, we'll do a little bit of a quick team's championship calculation. It looks like COR are your World Constructors Champions. Those 10 points for Julian, just enough to be able to bring it home for them. 25 points from VLO Reed, giving them the run for the money there. They win it by just 5 points is all the gap was at the very, very end of the season. I think 132 versus 127. Incredible fight there. Julian will be devastated for, well, both himself and his teammate that they weren't able to bring the driver's title home to Comedy Racing, but the real money is won in the Constructors, so full credit to them. At the COR factory, Hetmanek in 6th place for SPM using just 1 token. What a brilliant points haul for him today, ending off what was a pretty miserable season for the SPM team for the most part of it, but they really had their moments. Levioso getting a podium in his home race was brilliant for him. Hetmanek heartbreakingly getting 2nd last race, but this race he's done really well, and he's picked up 8 points there. Yoshi Josh in a very quiet race getting that 7th place for Team Velocity, and Spuda looking to contend for the championship with his 2 tokens spent today, just wasn't able to do anything. I think it's the deficit of straight line speed on that WTEC car that really hurt them this season when it really came to the championship, when it really came to the race results, the championship standings. Sobel, using 2 tokens, gets 9th place, and it's back-to-back points finishes for Grandin like it was at the start of the season, but neither of them using tokens this time. Brilliant for him. Somehow I made it in 11th place, the usual dwelling place of the SFR cars. Unfortunately for him, just missing out on the points finish in the final race of the season. Both KRTs out of the points, Vlado 04 in 12th and Mandy in 15th. Phoenix in 13th place and Trixie in 14th place. between the two of them. Levioso in 16th for SPM, Rito in 17th. He'll have his head in his hands and his heart broken in two that he wasn't able to use that championship league to secure it for himself. The championship, just like in Real Sunday League, always goes back to Portugal. Game Mongoose will feel the same way. He always had an outside chance coming to this race, but it never cooked up for him. It's 18th place for him. Andre's our race winner last time in 19th place and exits then with back-to-back last place finishes. What an incredible race to end the season off. We've had championship drama, we've had 3-4 drivers looking like they potentially win the World Championship for the very first time in Sunday League Virtual, but in the end it's gone the way of Eurus, who is your World Champion. Thank you so much for following this season of Sunday League Virtual. It's been really good fun to manage. Hope to see you in a month for season 2, which will have a new rule set, new exciting things added, and a whole bunch more fun sim racing and AI racing. A lot of strategy, a lot of battles, and a lot of great times. See you then.